my favorite pair he actually stole back from me because we had the same size feet.
Which one was it?
The blue and black high top, because
Okay.
he needed a pair of shoes over the weekend, because when he realized what we were doing, he's like, oh, I need a pair of shoes. He just went and he just took them from my closet. So
Okay.
my favorite pair
Fragment
is gone.
Jordan ones, yeah.
That could actually be my favorite pair of shoes that are now missing. Back to Trav.
Were you fighting back at all?
No,
You acquiesced immediately?
didn't even think about it.
What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneaker Show. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, my two friends. First off, to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
It's summer, and we're here.
It's been summer. We are here. To my left, Mr.
Hey,
Brendan
what's up?
Dunne, fresh off the jet again.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Back from Parity. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm a little tired, but I feel okay.
Big week, big guest. What else are we getting into?
I want to address some of the feedback to our sneaker power ranking, the collaborator list. As per usual, people have plenty to say. Some Olympic footwear also that I think is worth touching on.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Noah Lyles, Michael Johnson, sprinters getting shoes.
It's getting spicy.
Yeah. And of course, Michael Rubin is here, founder and CEO of Fanatics. Right in time for Fanatics Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Busy week, a lot of stuff, do we want to say fallout? Fallout from our recent lists?
I don't know.
Are we
no,
going there too soon?
Look. We put out a list of the sneaker collaborator power rankings, and we invited.
Did an episode on it, too.
We did an episode on it here, and we invited feedback. We invited commentary. So any of that positive, negative, or neutral is what we asked for, and we will take it and we will process it. And some of it we'll even respond to right here on air.
Yeah. What do we want to respond to first?
Okay. The most common thing that I saw people saying, which is totally right, is that Bad Bunny was too high. That was a mistake.
And I think that in the meeting...
You kind of had that feeling before we had published the list.
I felt like he was high. I think the shoes have been really good.
Yeah.
I just think, though, when you're like collaborating and the collaborators list, like in terms of like taking apart a shoe, really kind of methodically designing.
Yeah, being really engaged with
Instead
this
of like
stuff.
being like an endorser.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he could have been up toward like 14 or something.
Yeah,
like
but that was a lot of people said that.
What were some of the other criticisms? I love Bima. He's a good friend of
Yeah,
mine.
Bima, I definitely disagree with some stuff.
with the ether, but like a lot of the feedback people had or saying we got wrong was for entries that were super low on the list, like the back 20 to 25, and then
I just don't understand how you can get mad at us for putting like Stussy and Undefeated on like a list of 25 sneaker collaborator.
The 550, New Balance didn't even realize it was in their archive until Teddy brought it back.
Big shoe, big impact. Also, I feel like people lost track a little bit of the criteria, and maybe that's on us, of like the resources. I feel like that was part of it, not just the heat around the projects, but the resources brands give them, where Supreme, yes, they're very mediocre right now, but they still get a ton of resources.
And they're also still one of the biggest collaborators of all time.
Yeah, I mean, or people being mad that like Marcus Jordan was at the bottom of the list, Marcus Jordan himself, but he knows what's up. So like,
I feel like it's one of those weird ones where it's like there's going to be people who are going to cape so hard for Marcus, and then there's going to be people who are like, don't mention his name on the list because of everything he did.
But he has power at the brands. He's Michael Jordan's son. He's doing
But also, I think
big
people.
projects.
Can we talk about how I think people totally misinterpreted what the list was?
Again, maybe that's on us.
Because it was supposed to be the most powerful sneaker collaborators. It's not who makes my favorite sneaker collabs.
Well, the criteria is always tough.
Yeah.
Always
and you
tough.
gotta reiterate
but
it
to
again
be
and
honest,
again.
we can't even always define it, you know?
This is true. Some brain dead commenters were asking for the inclusion of Kanye West. Look, Ye has no juice in the sneaker game right now. He's been irrelevant for at least a year. Adidas is liquidating his shoes, not looking to make any profit on them. We just saw a big Yeezy sale for like 70% off. Like, no sneaker brand is going to work with this person right now. He's still persona non grata. It wouldn't have made any sense. Where would you put him on a list, you know?
Yeah.
As always, people want J-Tips to be higher. I get that.
Yeah.
Maybe we're often underrating J-Tips. Look, maybe you got to bump J-Tips up after the big Olympic moment he had. Did you see that?
Saw that.
Yeah.
Breaking, that is such a huge, especially, again, with Saucony, like getting your sneaker on the world stage at the Olympics.
That's awesome. And what shoe was that of his?
It was the Grid collaboration that he did, Shadow Grid.
What a huge moment. Any other like big misses? No, the Bad Bunny was the big miss.
Some say Futura could have been on it.
I think so.
Futura could have been on there.
That
I mean,
he's having a really good year.
That's the one that I like.
Yes, Welty was fighting for
I'm
Futura.
still big on. I just think that the one to me that's the easy swap is that you swap Futura for Nina Chanel. Like her Air Jordan 3 is great, but besides that, she's really only done the Air Jordan 2.
Yeah, you think maybe too much of the moment pick.
Of the moment, and then he has the bigger catalog and just means more. And personally, I actually like his SB Dunk more than the Air Jordan 3. So
do we think that SB Dunk's going to last the top 10?
That SB Dunk is awesome.
I wonder if it's
The
going to
more
end
and
up
more
in
I
the top
see
10.
it, the more I see that shoe, the better it gets every time.
I don't know if I would agree with that, but I'm not mad at you. Salehi could have been a little bit higher.
Oh, that definitely.
Salehi
I
could
think
have been higher.
I said it on this podcast. I thought Salehi, I think 2 spots higher. Salehi's taking risks.
Yeah.
See his Crocs boots?
I missed that one.
They previewed them over the weekend.
Yeah,
They're
what
like
about his new
they're like a
purple New Balance,
duck
too?
boot looking.
Yep.
He's been giving shoes away. He's been designing shoes.
991 V2.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, speaking of J-Tips and the Olympics, did you guys see the LeBron 22s at the Olympics?
gold?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to be at the game, and I was reminded while I was watching the game and locking on to LeBron sneakers of that 40-yard read principle that Aaron Cooper told us about Tracy T, designing sneakers where you can tell which shoe it is from that far away, and just seeing those gold shoes on feet. It just felt like one of those special footwear moments.
Definitely.
Speaking of gold shoes,
Yes?
Michael Johnson, track shoes, track athletes wanting signature shoes.
All right.
Noah Lyles wants his own
The
Adidas
first
shoe?
thing he said after winning the 100,
Yeah.
they asked him, and he said he wants his own shoe. Put it out there. He said there's money in sneakers.
Mm-hmm.
He wore the Y3 spikes to
Yeah,
win.
that was cool.
Yeah, how do we feel about that?
I think it's a tough investment for a sneaker brand to make, because I think a lot of these times when it comes to track athletes, their name is hot for the Olympics and not too much
Because it's
before and
once
after
every,
that.
once every, Olympians in general.
Yeah.
Once every 4 years. I'm not saying that Olympians shouldn't get shoes.
Yeah.
But I think it is tough to like build a signature line around someone.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it'd be exciting because we haven't really had a signature line in running that's really crossed over, or I struggled to even name any off the top of my head.
Kipchoge has had like.
Yeah, but you wouldn't call that a signature line.
Yeah, I mean, like we mentioned earlier, like Michael Johnson had a signature shoe. I know Joe
Yes.
has a pair.
I do.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I would like to see Adidas make it happen because it'd be a cool experiment, but I don't imagine that it would be greatly successful.
That frustrated me when he got interviewed and he said, "Oh, no runner's ever gotten a signature shoe," and I'm like, dude, put some put some respect on Michael Johnson's name, please,
because and your name.
That was the one that you guys.
I felt
said,
like it was personal for you.
That was the one that you guys said it doesn't count because I don't have my size in those shoes. I got them.
Yeah, but you know. His gold track spikes at the Olympics, like single-handedly one of the most iconic footwear moments in track and field.
Those
all time.
Gold spikes.
Yeah.
Those gold spikes are one. I know they went to auction.
Yeah.
Those are ones that if I was ever to bid on a pair of shoes on Sotheby's, I think I would bid on those.
Yeah, you would want those in the collection?
Yes. Yes. I
Drop
remember
a little 40 piece on them.
Michael. I remember Michael Johnson. that '96 Olympics. I was like asking my mom for a gold chain to wear just because. And I was
really,
like, yeah. And I was like I was a distance runner, but he was like that '96 Olympics. He was like an idol of mine. And then the gold spikes, like.
And also, I found out recently because friend of the program, Drew Hamill, the East Bay Archive Instagram account,
formerly Nike Stories.
Yeah, he had put out some of the old clips from the East Bay magazine, and I guess I didn't realize that the Air Zoom Citizen was actually inspired by Michael Johnson's track spikes.
I did not know that.
All ties together for
either
young
did I.
JLP.
So
wow.
And you're saying Michael Johnson's an important name to remember here because he did actually have his own signature.
Yes. And I feel like
you can't imagine that Noah Lyles,
deep
in the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, deep in the Magic the Gathering
Trust me, I
binder.
get it. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to know every bit of sneaker history, but I feel like
there's no way
when
he
it
knows
comes
about
to
that.
U.S. track and field athletes, I mean, Michael Johnson, not the most iconic. You need to put respect on Jesse Owens' name when it comes to like the pantheon of that.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to footwear moments in the Olympics, it's like it's kind of hard to forget that and just to say no one's ever really done this before.
Also, I was saying put respect on Welty's name because Welty did interview Michael Johnson about the gold track spikes and the associated sneakers. When was that? 2016 that you would have done that?
Yes.
Really, go back and read that.
Really nice guy.
Nice. Yeah. Wonderful. We talked about buying sneakers on eBay. You know what? I'm kind of thinking of a new sneaker strategy for this show. I kind of want to just start going on eBay and finding the most random
To wear?
sneakers I can to wear, because collectible footwear has gotten to the point where anything limited or interesting is just consensus, and it's really hard to stand out with it, because even if you got the cool shoe, everybody already knows about the cool shoe, and everybody else already has the cool shoe, and any cool shoe you're getting is you playing into a marketing plan somehow. So I kind of want to just spend many late nights on eBay finding the most random,
just so
wonky...
they can fall apart.
So you can make more content off of it.
No,
Yachty does
I
that
just
a lot.
think
Yachty loves doing obscure. He also like does late eBay night. He'll always be like, "I'm on eBay late, just buying dumb shit." But
I just feel like if we are suggesting to the public that we have real taste in footwear, we should be able to arrive at that taste without a brand leading us there, and we should be able to pick things out ourselves. Like, you know, people buying a Vomero 5 right now, like, you would have never arrived at the Vomero 5 without Nike making millions of pairs of Vomero 5s. So let's try this exercise of actually picking out shoes based on what we like, not just what's on the shelf.
Do you ever think it's weird with, like, when you go to, you know, events where there's not events or just spaces where there's like a lot of sneakerheads, you know, and the limited edition shoes are supposed to be like the rare thing that sticks out, like
that's
you
what
said,
I'm saying.
But then you get into a congregation of sneakerheads and everyone has the same limited edition shoes on.
That's what I'm saying, and we've played a huge part in pushing
for sure.
this hobby to that point. But I'm kind of ready to recoil.
that's going to be a tough challenge.
I trust me, I've already spent some time on it.
I think it's going to be tough.
I think
it's going to be tough, and I also think
I might just fall victim to
we have
getting
this
something
thing-
weird, not actually something good.
Because also there's so many shoes where, like, even to be honest, the Zoom Citizen to a lesser extent, it's kind of like the real heads know. Should I say the real heads, the old heads, real heads? But like
old heads, yeah.
When I would be like, bring these back, so many comments are like, no,
Crickets.
no, yeah. So I think that's a tough exercise, but.
Yeah.
And what is it like? I'm sure you could. Are they going to be worn like $50?
I feel like you got to get some.
But
worn
here's the
shoes for that.
thing. Here's the thing. Falling into that category, if we were doing this a year ago or the Sunders may have been on that.
Sure, yeah.
Like the Sunders, again, $40 at the outlets. And now look.
I feel like sometimes when people play that game, they fall victim to like elevating shoes that were never great.
True.
Because they
Yes.
just want to find old stuff that's random, and then which is cool.
But we don't have to pretend like they're awesome.
No,
or
for sure,
super
for sure.
important.
Can you give us an example, though?
No, I truly can't,
Okay.
because I'm looking for stuff that I've never even heard of. That's kind of how I'm feeling.
So you really want to play, like, I guess that's like the true definition of, you know, like Bobito's, like, where'd you get those?
Kinda, yeah.
Strategy of you want that people to like see your shoes and you're like, what are those?
I want to
literally.
come on here. This is a dream I had.
Okay.
I want to come on here and I have the shoes on, and none of us even know what the name of them are. And then anybody in the comments who can figure out the name, I'll give them the shoes for free or something like that.
And I'm going to say, you know, the SpongeBob a few moments later. Yeah. Remember this. This is going to last.
Shoes
This
gonna
is
be
going to last at the most, and I'm giving him a gift 2 or 3 weeks, the most.
Before I come in,
That seems like a lot. It seems like a lot of work. Listen, we love the sneaker cam. That seems like a lot of work for the sneaker cam, just for the sneaker cam.
Some crusty Reeboks.
All right, we may have to take it back there. No, but I guess another shoe I'm interested in, just in the vein of trying to do something different. I feel like I am more inclined right now to spend money on Hoka's than any other brand. Welty, did you see the Hoka Satisfy
Those are cool.
Mafate? What is it? Mafate Speed 4 Light. I love that I don't
They
even.
have like,
Yeah.
there's like that green one. Is that what it is?
Thought it was the brown.
There's like a brown and then
Yeah.
like a sulfury yellow.
That's
Oh,
what. Sorry, yellow, not green.
I really want a pair of those. I might have to just buy them on resale. It reminds me of the peak days of Nike Zoom Fly, kind of translucent.
Did they come out?
see-through
Did
uppers.
they drop already?
Yes,
or-
they just came
Oh,
out.
okay.
Yeah, and I like to see the shoes like that are reselling. I'm into that.
Have you seen the one CM Punk's been wearing, like the tie-dye ones?
No.
Tie dye Hokas.
Yeah, they're dope.
Joe, do you have any Hokas? Are you
No.
on board yet?
I have no Hokas.
What's it gonna take? You could do the Satisfy ones, right?
I could probably do Hokas, but I feel like I have, like, the Hoka spot right now is maybe taken up by Solomon. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
You know what threw me off though is like I got that pair of Sauconys that had the really thick sole on them, and I know like Hokas are similar.
Yeah.
And there's almost like too much cushioning in it to when I was walking around. There wasn't like enough. Maybe I'm getting old, or I am, but there wasn't like enough firmness in the sole, and I just felt kind of like unstable a little bit.
We know,
Okay.
you know how we feel about those ones.
They were good to run in.
How
I
do
think
we
they
feel?
look good on
Remember,
feet.
he was like, "Oh, great."
Tell the story.
Not my favorite, but total. Like we have different. You know what that shoe was? That
Him
was
brandishing a sneaker around.
no.
the
That
office.
was what I like about that. That was a total like this is his taste.
Yes, we
and
need
this is
more
my
of that.
taste.
We need more
and,
of that.
And I think over the years, mine and his tastes have crossed over.
Mm-hmm.
But when he showed that shoe, I said no.
You will not be participating.
Yeah, but
Well, it's funny because I remember last year I said that. No, hold on.
He's
Got the
going to talk
receipts.
about how he put you on.
No, I said that at the end of the year. We can not run the clip, but
Yeah.
I said that we asked what our personal favorite shoe of 2023 was, and I said 991 V2. And now
Okay.
look,
And here Joe is following in your footsteps.
we'll get to these later.
Yeah.
what about the pink ones?
They're on the way.
Yeah?
Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about those.
Thank you,
You
to
sourced them.
everyone that reached out, and thank you. I will be wearing those on a definitely on a
Episode coming
episode.
soon.
But yeah.
All right.
Also, real quick,
Yes.
very cool, maybe nerdy, very cool to kind of like hit overseas and go back and forth and try to get
Yeah.
Restore-
we need more of that.
restore the feeling. Oh, do
Regional
you think
exclusive.
yes?
Yeah.
Talking to someone, a creative director of the campaign. Let me see. Then the
Yeah,
store. Then the
yeah.
new. And you're like putting it together. Just kind of like not jumping through hoops. I don't want to characterize it as that,
Yeah.
but like, figuring it out. But yeah,
I mean-
you should see those Atmos Japan 991
That's
soon.
a big part of what we love. Remember what Bones Malone said in Just for Kicks?
Oh,
What'd he say?
He said, I'll paraphrase it. Wealthy knows the quote. He said, he's talking about going around the world for footwear. And he said,
fly to
Paris.
Amsterdam.
I thought it was Paris.
I thought,
Yeah.
throw a jam, dance with a large woman.
Yeah, with someone. Get the shoes, bang bang. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Go watch the movie if you haven't. The documentary. Important lesson.
Great movie.
Yes, I want to talk about a shoe real quick that we teased on here and then showed up a few weeks later in the form of leaks, and I think it's quite bad. The Wizard of Oz SB Dunks.
I feel like those might hit.
What? How do you have? If you're doing it's
I
an
don't- I
official
don't-
Wizard of Oz
I don't ca-
collaboration,
I
which
don't-
is cheesy to me.
I don't care for the shoe.
Yeah.
And they've already done, and I think we talked about it here. They've already
Yes.
done Wizard of Oz dunks
Yeah.
in the past. So they did a whole pack of them,
Yeah,
right?
Tin Man. Yeah.
Yep. I think the Dorothy one was the most memorable
Yeah.
of the bunch, but it's from that era of SB that nobody really cares to like,
Yes.
remember.
Mid 2010s.
Yeah.
So there's a new SB Dunk. It's an official Wizard of Oz collaboration, which again, I'm like, this is to me the cheesiest form of SB.
It's like the least SB. Like if you go back to in the days when SB
Yeah.
was getting sued or threatened legal action by Heineken and New Line,
Cinema for the
Yeah.
Freddies. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go to the day and age, and I know they did do official projects
Sure.
back then, but
De La Doom.
yeah, the day and age of, oh, we're gonna get like big companies to do it, like a la like Powerpuff.
Yeah.
It just feels like
What do these things have to do with each other? And the shoe looks bad.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I'm sure they tried to make a ruby red slipper shoe, but if you couldn't make that look good, then just don't do it, because like you're doing a sneaker collaboration based on a movie that has a very iconic footwear moment in it, and it's right there for you. Yeah, the ruby red slippers, and then you do a shoe, and
isn't
it's
the shoe based off of like Dorothy Lang and like the flowers or
yeah,
something?
like a poppy field or
Ruby
something
Red
like that.
would have hit harder.
Come on! How hard could it be? I mean, I'm not a designer, but how hard could it be? So that's my early.
For me,
judgment on
just
those.
seeing, it's not even like the fact that they missed the layup on it.
Yeah. Obviously, they thought about it. you know,
Yeah, they had to have, but just seeing the Wizard of Oz
on the tongue.
on the tongue, it's like it's the least skateboarding thing of all
Yeah.
time. Although I will say the one connection to Wizard of Oz
Ooh, this would be interesting.
that I feel like skate kids knew from back in the 2000s is like people
Judy
are like,
Garland had heel flips.
no, that they're like, oh, people are like, you need to smoke weed and throw on Pink Floyd Dark Side.
This is the most tenuous connection you
Yeah,
can imagine.
yeah.
But
Throw on Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon and it syncs up to.
yeah.
Just a little housekeeping. We're not talking about the dunk list. I think we'll do like
Yes. We also put out a list in the past
Yes.
couple weeks, best SB dunks of all time. That one is unassailable. There are no legitimate criticisms. You can
just the top few.
No.
What about all this? Yeah, we'll
I would say it's more so.
No, I mean the positioning.
Yeah, I would say it's more so personal grievances with personal favorites, because there's like a lot of really great Nike SBs over the year, but when you put together a list of 20, just some things get cut because they're a really good shoe, but they don't have as much of a personal storyline, or not personal. But
definitely a list I want to talk about. We'll dedicate a whole episode to that in the future. Cool. And also,
I got like reactions on the street and stuff, but
people let you know you.
No, they well, whatever.
Yeah,
we'll get to it.
Well, we will in due time. By the way, I think we're off for the rest of August. People will see us back in September. Like I said in an episode previous, we're a little bi-weekly right now, but we'll be back soon in September.
Back to school, we'll be back. Welcome back.
You going Mace? Billy Madison?
Yes.
What's
Mace.
We do have a guest today.
Big guest.
Powerful
Big
guest.
weekend.
Yeah.
Big weekend. We have one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our generation in the world. Michael Rubin, the CEO and founder of Fanatics, right in time for Fanatics Fest this weekend. Tons of star power. You pulling up?
I might be there at the
think
Javits
there's a
Center.
40-yard dash. Are we seeing you in the 40-yard dash? You
throw the Hokas on and hit the 40?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Mr. Michael Rubin, how you doing?
Honored to be here, my friend.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Busy week.
Definitely a busy week.
I was doing the math in my head. I see you with LeBron in Paris, and now you're here. I'm like, how did you move quick?
Well, the only thing I'll say is I don't sleep a lot.
Okay.
But I definitely slept on part of that flight back.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of it was a fun Saturday night. So
You slept hard.
I didn't sleep hard, but I slept more than normal. I generally don't sleep on planes. I definitely got some sleep in.
Okay.
Yeah, glad to hear. You had the medal around your neck.
I did have the medal. I had many medals around my neck. I was like, great, that's mine. Give me that medal. I want to put that medal on.
D-Book taking the bike from the place was the illest.
I just saw that. And I got to tell you
this.
something. He could be the smartest person in the room, because when we went home, they said it was 8 minutes if you left after 4 a.m., which was no question I was leaving after 4 a.m.
Okay.
And it was 40 minutes before 4 a.m. So
get back to the hotel.
About 5 o'clock we left and took 40 minutes to get back.
Wow.
And so the 8 minutes after 4 a.m. was a complete lie. It was still 40 minutes. They had so many street closures because of the marathon they also had during the Olympics. Like,
Yeah.
I don't, a lot of my friends ran that marathon, but I don't know if the marathon was really necessary in the middle of the Olympics. And then it was a long trek back to the hotel to then leave for the plane.
You would have done the bike?
I
I did the bike a little bit in Paris this weekend.
Bike
It was
seemed
hectic.
great, but my vision my vision's not great.
Yeah.
And so I'm thinking with a lot of drinks and it being nighttime, I would have been dead. But sure, I probably would have tried it without a helmet, obviously.
Yeah.
I like showing my uncoordinated moments. So so long as I would have had a video of me like flying front over the bike, and so long as we would capture the moment of my embarrassing
Then
moments,
it's worth it.
Yeah.
Are we going to see you in the 40-yard dash competition this weekend or what?
You know, I'm trying to make this less about me, but I'm sure I'll get coaxed by if I want to take if it's going to be something like that, I want Drewski. He's going to be my opponent in anything. I heard Drewski I heard Drewski was getting in the octagon. I'm like, wait, someone's got to make a Drewski sandwich or something.
Wow. Love that.
you think you could beat Darren Ravel's time in the 40-yard dash?
Yes.
Did you see that clip ever?
No, but I'm sure. But he's like old and unathletic like me, so I definitely could beat him. What was it?
I don't remember, but
He was
it's like
trying hard.
It's like a shuffle.
He was at the combine, I think, and he did the 40 a few years back. It's funny, but
Yeah. Michael, the first thing we want to talk about the shoes you have on feet. We want to discuss all of our footwear. What are you wearing right now?
I am wearing a LV Nike collab,
Yeah.
Yes.
which are actually one of the most comfortable pair of sneakers on the planet. But what I did notice, which is interesting, because I sat down and looked at it right away, if we would have sat here 2 or 3 years ago, it would have been all Nike shoes, I think.
Yeah.
Today we got two
Yes.
Nikes, two New Balance.
yes,
Yeah, a
definitely
little
want to
bit
get
more.
to that.
Yeah. How did you get those?
Actually, they were gifted to me for my birthday 2 years ago.
That's a special pair,
It is. Actually, Jay-Z actually brought them to me for my birthday.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
Louis
special
Vuitton
pair.
Air Force
So
Ones.
they are a special pair. I actually love these shoes.
Yeah.
He actually brought me 2 pair of these and a pair of white and green ones, and they're 2 of my favorite sneakers.
Are you precious about them?
I'm
Like,
not
do you
precious
care
about-
where you're wearing them?
No.
Have you ever cleaned them?
Someone who I work with definitely cleans my shoes up, because I'll bring them back. They get scruffed up.
Okay.
For sure. Like a night out with me, that shit's looking fucked up.
Okay.
For
Okay.
sure. Like no question at all. So I'm not precious about any of my shoes. It was funny. I looked at the white party Trav shoes after the white party.
Yes.
They look black.
Yeah, I bet.
You got to
were
send
no
them out to the
longer white.
I
cleaners?
bet.
Yeah, but I might have got a few pair of those actually.
There you go. There you go. I'm doing Air Max TNs Sunset pair. Feeling very French. Saw a lot of these out there. I know a lot of people.
Those are sick.
You like them?
I do.
Yeah, maybe I'll get you a pair for your
Thank
birthday.
you. Appreciate that.
Clear toe cap on them. I'm not so much of a purist with the shoe that I mind the clear toe cap. The previous iterations had the black right around the tip, but
Did you bring those to Paris?
no, I didn't.
What did you wear in Paris?
I was on the loafers and some Asics.
Loafers. What are you
Okay.
wearing? Like you trying to be French?
Trying to blend in a
Pulling
little
up the
bit.
Hotel Costas
Yeah.
in those?
Exactly.
I'm doing Social Status 991 V2s. Part of a city pack. We talked about the Tokyo ones, the Atmos pink and black ones. But yeah, this is the stateside one. Thanks for sending Social Status.
These are the Concepts New Balance 1906, inspired by the 999 New Balance seal.
Those look so good. Look at that blue end.
By the way, everyone's got good looking shoes on their feet, but I'll tell you, I have not worn New Balance shoes ever until the last couple of months, and they're taking some share of my closet.
They're
Yeah?
awesome.
Yeah,
New Balance is big in Philly, though.
they are, and Chris Davis, who's Jim's son, who kind of I feel like runs New Balance now. He does a good job of sending out cool shoes. So I keep, and there's been some good collabs my friends have done with them. So I keep, I'm accumulating them. I'm liking it. And they're really comfortable too. Like when you get older like me, unfortunately, feet become more sensitive to like wearing super comfortable shoes. So I need cool shoes that are also comfortable.
Yeah.
And New Balance definitely fit the bill.
Yeah. Will you ever buy a pair of sneakers on resale?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you don't mind going into Stadium Goods or Flight Club?
I mean, I'm not going myself, but yeah, definitely.
Someone's going.
I'm off. Like I try. I feel like I'm a really fortunate, lucky person. I try to buy everything at retail and everything at like. I don't ever try to.
No, I'm saying at resale.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
retail
but you
too.
get
Yeah,
retail.
Yeah, retail/resale. I'm
Yes.
saying like I'm not one, but like a lot of shoes show up at my house at this point.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like I'm more for like I don't. People always like I'll send you my shoes. I'm like no, let me just go buy them. And
Yeah.
I'd rather buy them at StockX, which is where I buy a lot of my shoes from. But I've got I think I've got a good combination of shoes bought from StockX and shoes that show up at my house.
Yeah, and you were something of a sneaker reseller back in the day. I mean, right?
Well, I started in the close-up business as a kid.
Yeah.
But those weren't cool sneakers. Those were like last year's disasters.
Yeah.
Not the cool shoes.
93 though, you were doing 100 million in business.
I graduated high school in 90. So by 93, I was probably doing 100 to 150 million in revenue. It was mostly from the buying and selling of sneakers, which was my first big business.
Where
Yeah.
did you sell them?
So remember, retail looked a lot different. So like there you had TJ Maxx was different from Marshalls was different from, Modell's was here. So I really like going by. I remember being 18 years old
In high school.
in high school. Sorry, I was 17. I was in high
Plymouth
school.
Plymouth
White Marsh High School. And I went to something called
Colonials.
this. Wait, you went there?
No, just saying.
He just
God,
knows.
I was going to give you like a Let's Go Colonials. So even though I would have forgotten what they were called. But anyway, I was at this thing called the Super Show. It's a big sporting goods show.
Yeah.
And I found there were these Xavier McDaniel shoes.
Wow.
Okay, X-Man shoes.
Nick's Legend.
Yeah. And I bought the shoes for $9 a pair. I think it was either 100,000 pair or 300,000 pair. I can't remember. I think it was 100,000 pair, but it could have been 300,000 pair.
17 years old.
17 years old. So I bought them. Okay.
A couple million.
A couple $1 million. And the problem was, it was great. Like I bought them for $9 a pair.
Yeah.
And so I went you had payphones at this point. I went to the payphone. I called this guy who was my banker, Dennis Wazlewski from Continental Bank. I called him and said, hey, great news, man. I just made a fortune. He says, oh, what'd you do? I said, I just bought, all these X-Men shoes for $9 a pair. He said, how much money you need? I think, I wish I remember the exact value. I think it was 2.7 million. Anyway, he's like, I need this money to pay for these shoes. He said, well, how are you paying for them? I said, well, that's why I'm calling you collect from the payphone. You're going to lend me the money.
Yeah.
He actually lent me the money. I sold the shoes for like an average of $15 a pair. I was still in high school. I probably made like $1 million over like the next week or two. Mitchell Modell bought them. TJ Maxx bought them. Ross Stores bought them.
Yeah.
Sports Authority bought them. So yeah, I started in this sneaker closeout business.
Huge flip there.
Good flip.
Were you scared? Were you nervous about just how much people were willing to buy those shoes for, given that they were already super heavily
I'm going to be
discounted?
honest with you. Fear is not anything I've ever had a lot of. So no,
Yeah.
I was definitely I have always embraced failing as the way to get your next success. So, I think it's a pretty well documented story now, but at 16, I basically ran out of money, thought I was going bankrupt, thought I was done,
Yeah.
thought I was a complete failure. And, my parents basically said, like, you're going to college like a normal kid, stop trying to be, an entrepreneur. And then another ski shop went out of business. I bought all this stuff, flipped it, made a lot of money. And that led me to get in the business of buying and selling closeout footwear. So to me, I've done so many crazy things and a lot have worked out, a lot haven't. And, part of when shit doesn't go your way, you just got to learn from it, embrace it, take your all, move on, and figure out what you're going to learn from it and be better at. So, fear is not something I have anything of. And it's why people always say, like, why do you post these dumbass videos of your horrible athletic things? And I look for I would look for the worst videos ever.
Yeah.
Because I want to show people, like, hey, I was that athlete that, I was always the person picked last on every team.
Mm-hmm.
I was the person who barely made it out of high school. But you know what? I worked my ass off in business and done pretty well in business, all things considered. So like, I want to show people you can suck at a couple of things and be great at something else. And so it's those things are actually more pointed than you think.
When you see the resale market now in these stores, and you mentioned StockX, with your history being the 17-year-old kid and obviously was different than what's happening now, but could you see that the market was going that way?
No, as a 17-year-old kid, I didn't see that. I think the sneaker market wasn't there 30 some years ago. Was that like 35 years ago?
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm old. So no, I think the market wasn't there. But I'll tell you, like, I like to look at different industries and figure out what I can learn and then bring them to the industries I'm in. So like the best example would be the collabs we've done with Trav.
Yeah.
You think about what we did with the college collab, and that merchandise was incredibly successful. And it smoked. And it was like, Mitchell Ness, Travis Scott, college merchandise, was amazing. And you look at what we're going to do at Fanatics Fest, he's got 1,000 packs of Travis Scott cards that are going to be so hot. And everyone, I tell you, when something's hot, when everyone's hitting me up saying, how do I get those cards? I'm like, you got to show up Saturday.
Cards.
Yes.
Trading cards.
Yeah.
Which is your genesis in business.
Well, I definitely started when I was like 8 years old in trading cards, but I was out of it for about maybe 40 years.
Yeah, but you're back.
I'm back in hard now. So, I love to take the things you learn. So you can learn a lot from the art market, the watch market, the sneaker market, and apply those to different businesses. And that's why I wasn't an art collector until 3 years ago. I used to be like, I don't understand how people, like my kid could make this. I didn't understand it. Now, like I'm a mad art collector. I'm completely addicted to buying art. And, I look to take those things and put that into the business we're in. So collectability is so important, obviously in trading cards, but also memorabilia and merchandise overall. And we make a lot of things that are, pretty hot now.
Yeah.
Did you have any of that sense of collectability in footwear as a young man? Did you want the Jordans? Did you want those sneakers when they first came out?
No, I was more nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't that cool. I gravitate to what I was good at. I was good in business.
Yeah.
I was not like a cool young kid. I was not athletic. As I said, I was a horrible student. I was just, for me, it was all about work. Like I loved work from the time I was 8 years old. I was always in different businesses, selling things, being an entrepreneur. That's what I was really good at. I always loved it. So I wasn't, not only even, to be honest, at 8 years old, I don't think they had, that was well, Jordan was drafted in 86. And
you were born in 72.
Yeah, so I was going to say, when I was 8 years old, they didn't have Jordans yet.
Yeah.
Were you going to City Blue in Philly? Is that a
100%.
Yeah.
City Blue is great. Plymouth Meeting Mall, baby. Shout out to City Blue. They're long gone, right?
I think they're still around. I think there's still locations.
I definitely went to City Blue. I would love going to the Plymouth Meeting Mall, City Blue as a kid.
What were you getting?
I can't remember. I mean, that was a minute ago. That was definitely a minute ago.
Yeah. I just love that you have all this history in sneakers. Rika as well.
That's actually a great story. So I actually bought Rika, and then I owned Apex One, which we turned into a sneaker company. Karl Malone, I had him the year he was MVP.
Oh.
So we made a shoe. I actually just saw on Sotheby's his shoe randomly being auctioned. I bought the shoes. But it was like such a value. I was like, these are gonna be fortunate. I bought them for like, I think they were like $1,000, $1,500 off of Sotheby's. I just randomly saw them when I was like scrolling through their site like 6 months ago. It was the shoe I made as a kid.
With Apex.
Yeah, with Apex One. Yeah. So look, we owned Rika from 95 to 98, which was a leading exclusively women's athletic footwear company. I owned UConn, a footwear company as well. But that I'd say I didn't make really hot shoes. But that was also a different time. You're talking about, mid 90s here.
Reebok and Nike were the giants of it.
My dream then was to, how do I build the next Reebok? How do I build the next Nike? That was my dream.
Did you get on the radar of them? Did they see you coming at all? Did you have the business at that place at least?
I think about like an ant on an elephant's ass. That's what I was to Nike.
Phil Knight never called.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. I have not read a book since 9th grade. The last book I read was The Swoosh, the unauthorized story of Phil Knight.
Yeah.
I read that book in 9th grade, so it must have come out in whatever. I love that book. I absolutely love that book. So I read that book. It's the last book I've ever read. It was great. I read it. I couldn't put it down. And I went on a bang. That was my last book.
Yeah.
So was Phil Knight someone that you like looked up to?
Idolized.
Yeah.
Absolutely idolized. Like for me, as a kid, like, as someone who just wanted to build businesses, looking at Phil Knight, like I was like, man, this guy's, he's a beast, and he is a beast, by the way. What he's built. I mean, Nike's, one of the most impressive brands in the world. I mean, I love Nike. Nike's an incredible brand. So yes, he was the first person that I think I really idolized as a kid. And I'll tell you a great Phil Knight story I've never told. It did not age well, by the way.
Oh, let's hear it.
So when I was starting my first real business, GSI Commerce, in 1998, 1999, we ran the e-commerce business of the big sporting goods retailers. So at that point, it was Modell's, Sports Authority, Dick's Sporting Goods, and having Nike was the most important company as part of that. And so I went out and I met with Phil Knight and had great meetings with probably, and to me it was like going to meet there was nobody more iconic I could meet with than Phil Knight in 1998, 1999. I met with him probably over 2 weeks, probably 3 to 4 times.
Wow.
And I was like, part like in awe, but part I want to get a deal done, which is how do I get him to, open us up and support us with Nike, which by the way, they didn't do it for about 10 years. They didn't do it until about 10 years later. So first Nike came back and I had these great meetings with him, like 3 or 4 meetings with him. And they basically said to me, okay, these have been great meetings with Phil. Now we're going to introduce you to his deal guy and they'll talk about a deal. And Phil Knight, his guy, his name was Howard Slusher, John Slusher's father.
Legend.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Howard sits me down.
Legendary asshole, too.
So Howard sits me down in the office next to Phil Knight. And he says to me, hey, we're really excited about being partners with you. And this is going to be great. We look forward to working together. We'd like to build a joint venture for all of Nike.com everywhere in the world other than America. Now, at this point, the only place we were really focused on was America.
Of course.
He said, and look, we just need a little bit of consideration. We'd like, a small sliver of your company to support us doing this for this joint venture for everywhere other than America. And how is maybe half your company,
It's like a real life episode of
he
Shark
said,
Tank.
I'd sell my mother if it was the right deal.
Yeah.
He said, so I like half your company. And by the way, he also writes down on a piece of paper, I need this store in Tokyo. He writes the location now. He says, and SoftBank's an investor in you, so go get them to help me get this location. Oh, and we need a small amount of money you'd put in this international joint venture that excludes America. We'd like you to maybe put $500 million into the joint venture. So we have just 3 small asks. We'd like as much of your company for free as possible.
Yeah.
We'd like $500 million into this joint venture, and we'd like you to help us secure this location in Japan. That's not the part of the story that I'm going to tell you about. So I'm like, okay, I basically, in a nice way, I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. I'm like, okay, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That was kind of the end of that story. So I left. I said, you know what? I had such great chemistry with Phil Knight. When I sent him adoption papers for me, I felt like he really liked me. So I had my lawyer draw up these adoption papers. And I sent them to Phil Knight. Never heard back.
As a joke, obviously.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
You should adopt me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna it didn't I thought I had these great meetings.
Yeah.
And then I had Howard Slusher come ask me for half my company for free, $500 million in the joint venture they put no money into, which by the way excludes America. And on top of it, I need to help them secure a location in Japan.
Yeah.
So that's not gonna work. So I told him kind of to fuck off.
Yeah.
And so now I'm gonna go out and let me try something with Phil. So I drew up these hilarious, adoption papers, sent them to him. No reaction.
Yeah. Have you
Zero.
seen him? Have you seen him recently?
Never seen him since. Haven't seen him since 1998.
Okay. Have you been to Portland
Or 99.
headquarters
I have.
recently?
Not recently, but
Okay.
in the last decade.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that Howard Slusher plays in that story, too.
I don't blame him for asking, but I mean, you think it was just a minor over ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, Nike didn't sell us for 10 years. So maybe the adoption papers weren't the best idea.
How much harder was the sneaker game in the mid '90s than your other investments? Just the production of footwear. I know you purchased Riga, and that was probably already set up. But how much different is that business?
Look, the sneaker game in the mid '90s, it was dominated by Nike and Reebok. And for me, I just looked at Paul Fireman at that point and Phil Knight as just these 2 iconic guys. And, I was just a little, gnat on a relative basis. But, for me, I'm always studying people, always learning from people. And so I was always taking the things that I learned from these amazing companies and using them to, help build my business. And I still do the same thing today. I'm like the best person at studying what's going on, which is why I'm, glued to, everything all the time.
Yeah.
But do you think the sneaker industry now, where I feel like you mentioned Paul Fireman and Phil Knight, and in that era there was all these real trailblazing iconic CEOs, and now it just feels like serial career CEOs running these brands? Do you feel like that's maybe why they feel stale sometimes?
Well, look, I'll tell you one thing. I love being the entrepreneurial CEO that's running Fanatics. Because for me, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I have the greatest job in the world. I love it. And I feel like even though we have 22,000 employees, I feel like we're a startup and we have so much to do. So I don't think we're near good enough in any of our businesses. I think we need to keep innovating everything we do. Remember, I was only in the fan gear business until 2021. So I spent from 2011 to 2021. So really the first 10 years building our, kind of fan gear business, which, we own a lot of brands. We own Lids. People forget sometimes. We own Mitchell & Ness, which is an incredible brand. Obviously, the biggest part of our business is the Fanatics flagship, website, which sells all licensed sports things we make and things that we buy from third-party brands. But now we have the online sports betting and gaming business, which, we're growing very quickly in. We have the collectibles business, which I couldn't be more excited about. It's such a fun business. So many parallels to footwear and trading cards and memorabilia. And so I'm always studying all these things and figuring out how to help our businesses.
You mentioned the Travis Scott projects you've done from time to time. I want to talk about those white Party Jordan 1s. How did that happen?
Trav is the single best marketer I've ever met in my life. And I got to tell you something. And I said this to him a few nights ago. When I met him, let's say through James Harden, who's, family to me. When I met Trav, I just knew him as an artist. And people don't get this about me. I don't know shit about music. Like, I'm not a music guy at all. All I do is work. I don't understand the words in songs. I can't follow. My ADD kicks in. So, I don't know the words to any one song. People don't believe me when I say, I don't know the word. Even take Dreams and Nightmares.
Yeah.
Okay. Meek's song, who's my brother.
Yeah.
You couldn't give that to us right now?
I couldn't do, no, not even 2 lines.
Do you have favorites of the artists you're friendly with, at least, even though if you don't know the words?
Yeah.
You like Sicko Mode? Sicko Mode comes on in Paris, so we...
I got to go with Fiend from Trav right now.
Okay.
That's an easy one.
Yeah, but,
Okay.
but Dreams and Nightmares always still is big. And,
and close to your heart, obviously.
And Drake's my guy.
Yep.
And, but I really I listen to the music of my friends to just when I'm either getting ready in the morning, if I don't have CNBC on, to just listen to the news. Or the biggest time I listen to music is when I run outside. Okay. That's my time to listen to music. But I just listen to the beats, not the words. And my brain can't comprehend it. I don't know why. There's some dysfunction, a lot of dysfunction in my brain. Okay. Actually, not some dysfunction. But my ADD's kicked in now, and I'm forgetting the question I was trying to answer.
We were talking about
Marketer,
the Travis
you
Scott.
told him a few nights ago.
The white Party Jordan 1s.
So Trav, I'll tell you, his attention to detail is like something I've never seen before. So first, I knew Trav through James, didn't really know him other than to be, this incredible artist. And then I was with him once and he said to me, hey, when you're in LA next, stop by my crib. And so I went to his house, and that was life-changing for me because I went from thinking of him as this artist to realize he's showing me each project he's working on, how he thinks about it, how he's building it. I spent, I'm like a 1-hour meeting person.
Yeah.
I spent 3 to 4 hours at his house the first time we hung. And I'm seeing what he's doing with footwear, what he's doing with McDonald's, what he's doing with Cacti, what he's doing with Dior. I'm seeing what he's thinking about with AP, with the watch. And I'm seeing his product sensibility is like something I could only dream of having. And so, the second year we did the white party, Trav comes in and he has his white and gray low, the low Jordan shoes. He's like, I bought you these shoes, they're not out yet. Change your shoes, put these on. Okay? This year at the Super Bowl, Trav sends me shoes, and he and his David Stromberg, who does an incredible job for Trav, they sent me these shoes to me, and they're like, hey, wear these shoes. So these guys are such good marketers. So what happened was we had done the Ace of Spades, Jay-Z bottles for 3 years, and Trav came to me and said, look, I want to do a special shoe just for the white party. And so it was really all of his vision. It wasn't our idea at all. It was 100% him. And if you think about that, the PR and marketing they got was insane.
Yeah. Did it come together quick?
No, he had the idea at probably 6 o'clock in the morning after White Party 3. Okay. He told me we were doing it. That was going to be the invite. We went out and collected everybody's shoe size in September of 23.
Yeah.
Look, Travis is an incredible marketer. I got to tell you something. His best skill set, music is his platform. His best skill set is absolutely consumer products. He's a consumer products god.
And was it through your connection with Nike to be able to get the shoes done, or was it
all him?
Okay.
Yeah. It was all him.
Some people were saying shoe surgeon worked on the sneakers to help customize them. There's just been a lot of rumors floating around. It was unclear to us who actually made
there was
the
help
shoes.
to finish the shoes because the shoes came and then we wanted to do some special things to finish them. So that did.
What did Travis say? Nobody better resell these, or I'll know who it is.
Well, have you seen them popping up at all?
Yeah, I've seen one or two or three pairs floating around. What you don't know is, are they real or not real?
Yeah. Are we tracking them down? Are we doing a street investigation?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, by the way, we found out someone reselling their social suicide. Like, you're done.
How'd you get George Condo involved to do the custom pairs?
So George Condo is my absolute favorite artist. And remember, I said I didn't collect art until 3 years ago. He's my number one guy. Love him, not like him. George is like, I don't know how much you guys know about his art. I think he's the best living modern artist. And so, there was issues on when the Nike shoes were actually going to get here versus when they were supposed to get here. And so they were supposed to be the original invite. And then when we realized they were going to be late, I went to George and said, hey, Keith Haring did this incredible invite in 1998 to his New Year's Eve party.
Wow.
Would you do a invite for the white party? He's like, fuck yeah, let's go. He made the invite. Then he's like, look, I want it for people that I'm friends with. I want to actually color some of these in for people that I know well, that I really like, for like Trav, for Brady, for Kim K. So people he knew he had a special, connection with. He actually colored some of these in. They were sick. They were absolutely sick. And I'll tell you, I love win-win things. What was amazing is this went from like him making the invite to like the amount of people that had no idea who George Condo was. All these young kids who are now like, yo, that Condo shit was crazy, man. How do I get that? I mean, I get asked, how do I get a Condo invite all the time?
You set the bar.
And by the way, a couple of people have tried to resell those two, and we're tracking those two.
That's one too. Like,
by the way, if we send you an invite to George Condo, okay, George Condo invite. Yeah. We send you, you're coming to the party, we send you a pair of shoes, and you sell them. Like, that's fucked up.
I wonder how much they're going for. I
wonder what's going for.
So
the shoes or the.
I know the answer because there were 300 prints of the Condos. And they were
the shoes or the
George Condo invite.
Yes, okay.
The black and white version, not colored in.
Okay.
They were numbered 1 to 300, and there were art dealers hitting people in DM like crazy. I have so many people who told me they got DM'd, hey, do you want to sell it? And they were getting $35,000 to $40,000 offers for those. And then the shoes I think have sold for like I heard 30,000 was what I heard.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
He keeps you on the flow for the early shoes too.
Trav and Dave, they don't miss a detail. Like, and people see. It's kind of like me in a version, but you see the fun nights with me, right? You see the white party,
the medals,
real. You see medals. Me, yeah, I definitely had a few drinks with the medals. You see that stuff, but that's, I go out 10 nights a year. I go out 15 nights a year. I'm not like
that's it.
And by the way, I don't like alcohol. Yeah, like I'm gonna tell you straight up, I do not like alcohol. Yeah. But I'm an extreme person, so I'm either all in and I'm going for it, or I have no interest. And so Trav is all work all the time, but then it's like a little bit of the release, he gets going, and he's, you see him perform. It's like, I mean, the guy, I've never seen a guy who likes his fans more than Travis Scott. I've never seen a guy who likes to perform more than him. You can't, at the Fanatics Super Bowl party, we had 17 people perform. He never left the DJ booth because he just takes over because he loves it that much because he's that connected to his fans. But that's his platform to do all these different businesses and consumer products.
For someone who is so meticulous about every release, I feel like you've debuted shoes before anyone else. He just gives it to you and like he doesn't. You've definitely debuted.
Well, I want to say I have debuted a few pair, but my favorite pair he actually stole back from me because we have the same size feet.
Which one was it?
The blue and black high top because he needed a pair of shoes over the weekend because when he realized what we were doing, he's like, oh, I need a pair of shoes. He just went and he just took them from my closet. So my favorite pair is gone.
Ones, yeah.
That could actually be my favorite pair of shoes that are now missing.
Were you fighting back at all?
No.
You acquiesced immediately?
Didn't even think about it.
Is that your favorite sneaker of all time?
Trav's are my favorite shoes for sure.
Yeah,
without question.
Any particular one? The blue and the black.
No, I have every pair, and I wear them. I think Trav has a 70% share of my footwear wearability shoes. So I'm generally in Trav.
Also, like big CEO energy with the Travis Lowe's. Dana White loves them. Like I feel like
But Trav makes that connection with people, and he makes the shoes you want to wear them, and that's what makes him so special. It's like when we did the launch of Cactus Jack, Mitchell Ness apparel, he's like, let's go to 3 schools and go nonstop. We went for 24 hours straight from LSU to Texas to USC.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's such an incredible, brand builder and promoter. It's why when you go to a show, like he looked at me, he's like, yeah, you never go in the mosh pit. I'm like, oh, I won't?
Yeah.
I ran in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were in the pit?
Oh yeah. I had the time of my life.
Do you ever talk to him about his Nike deals? Does he seek any advice from you on how to put those things together? You've been in those type of rooms so many times.
Yeah, look, we're always, I don't want to ever get into private stuff, but let me just say, all of my friends, I'm always learning from, and I'm always trying to help, and that's the relationship all of us have. So we're always asking each other questions, trying to help each other. That's for me, for a guy who, barely made it out of high school, Didn't, went to college for part of a semester. Like the way I learn is by, asking questions, gathering information. Even today, I'm going to walk out here and say, hey, 2 or 4 people are wearing New Balance. That's a learning for me.
Yeah.
Like I'm always very observant of everything. He's exactly the same way.
Like a sponge.
We talked about Nike a lot, but and the New Balancing. How do you feel about the parity in the market? Like I'm sure you see On all over, Hoka. And what do you think about like the challenging of the big heavyweights?
Love it.
Yeah.
Think it's great. Look, if you would have asked me 3 years ago, did I think there was a chance that anyone could kind of get an opening against the big footwear companies? I would have said no chance. I was completely wrong and didn't know shit. So, today, I mean, I think there's what New Balance is doing is incredible. Reebok is owned by a good buddy of mine, by Jamie Salter and ABG.
Yeah.
They're doing really nicely. And then to your point, all these startup companies who got on, these guys, they're doing great stuff. And if you're looking at apparel, there's a lot of openings in the market. I love that. That's competition makes you better.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's more interesting for us. I always say this as sneaker collectors, where we're not just automatically going to the Nikes every time. There's more interesting stuff happening in the market.
Definitely.
Different things to put on our feet. You said Travis has 70% of your closet. What's the other 30? I know.
I don't know if he has 70% of my closet. He has 70% of what I wear.
Okay.
So let's say I probably have at least 500 pairs of sneakers now.
Yeah.
And I'm like a super OCD person, so I'm giant into the purge. So I'll go into my closets like at least 2 or 3 times a year and get rid of everything I'm not wearing so it can get filled back up from,
What do you do with it? Do you just like
donate it?
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
Never sell it. Always donate
We're not going on StockX and just listing a bunch of stuff. I can help with that.
Yeah, I actually think I
I'll
never
take a small fee, but I can help.
I really never wear watches.
Yeah.
I'm not a watch person. It's not my thing. I mean, I have some nice watches, but I don't really wear watches. I'm not a car guy. But I've become into what you wear. I've actually, become, I care about it now. So I actually, buy and accumulate a lot of clothing, footwear, hats. But I like a couple times a year, I'm always purging everything out. But I'd say Trav makes his shoes great, and so I like them. So I wear them. Maybe it's 50 of the 500 pair of shoes I own, but I wear them a lot.
Are you the guy who has to help other people get those sneakers now? Because I feel like people know that you have that relationship.
No, I'm not. That's not.
It happens to us. We're
Yeah.
the sneaker people
No.
in the lives of people we love, so they look to us.
I've definitely helped some people on some white party shoes, but that's it.
That's where you draw the line.
Yeah, that's where I draw the line.
You mentioned Drake before too, and I know he had the white Air Force Ones. Is that like a shoe that's in your rotation as well, or?
I don't know if that's in my rotation right now.
The
But
CLB ones, all
Yeah.
white with the little beads on the laces.
Yeah. That I don't know why that's not. I really. When did this release?
Like last year?
There was a restock last year, very plain Air Force One.
I have someone who helps me to, because I'm very unfashionable on my own. So someone who buys my clothes and tells me what to wear. Because on my own, I'd be an unmitigated disaster. It would be really bad. I gotta get that in the plan. So I always like to also support my friends too. Like it's just one of the things like you want to do. You want to rep your friends' stuff.
Definitely.
Speaking about your friends, how do you feel about, we talked again about the different brands like Joel Embiid and the Skechers relationship and things like that, like seeking out a brand like that to play in?
So another crazy story is the Greenbergs that own Skechers. Mm-hmm. Robert Greenberg was the first, I'd say, at that point, iconic business person to take me under his wing and really help me. So Robert Greenberg, I probably met when I was 17, who owned Skechers. And I used to go to his house, stay with him. We used to walk or run on the boardwalk together all the time. And I would just pick his brain because I was building Rika and Yukon and Apex One, and he at that point he transitioned out of LA Gear and was building Skechers. I'm rooting look, Joel's brother and Skechers, I've got such a old connection to him, so I'm definitely rooting for that relationship.
Did you help put it together
Nothing
on
to
any
do with
level?
it. No.
Yeah.
Zero to do with it.
Yeah.
Were you big into the Iverson shoes at all back in the day, being
of
a
course.
Philly?
I mean, you grew up in Philly. How were you not big into Iverson shoes? You'd be something the matter with you if you weren't.
Do you remember when they first came out in the city and what it was like?
Crazy. It was absolutely People absolutely loved those shoes. And one of the things I like is you look at the Kobe shoes making a big resurgence right now. I love that.
Just old retro stuff coming back around that people
It's
have
great.
a strong sentimental connection
Yeah.
to.
Well, Mitchell Ness is all about heritage merchandise, and I think it's great.
Yeah. Can you talk about the Fanatics relationship with Nike a little bit? I know there were some stumbles early on with the jerseys, and a lot of people didn't like the way they were printed or put together. What do you feel went wrong there?
Yeah, so first, we have a great relationship with Nike. They're an incredible partner. We've been in business with Nike. So people don't understand this, we make all of the NFL, MLB, and most college merchandise that has Nike marks is actually made by Fanatics. And by the way, it's been a great relationship. We've grown the business dramatically. It's been a real win-win. I think the sports properties, I think fans, Fanatics, we've all won as a result of that partnership. It's been a great partnership. The stumble wasn't early on. The stumble was earlier this year. So the relationship started in the beginning of 2020, and the relationship was, I'd say, perfect. And look, this year, Nike wanted to reimagine the jersey. We own Majestic, which we acquired, which made the baseball uniforms.
Of course,
right. So we own the factory that's made the jerseys since for the last 20 plus years, and we've been making the jerseys. We've owned the factory that's made the jerseys for the last 8 years. We've made them under Nike's brand for the last 4 years. Nike is they're a very innovative company. They went to innovate the jersey. And look, truth be told, when you innovate, it doesn't always work the way you want it. It didn't work the way they imagined. And the good thing is they listen to athletes, they listen to fans, and now it's changed, and it's kind of going back to the way it was. The bigger letters.
Do you think that was a mistake, just like them trying to change too much from something that was already established?
Look, what I could tell you, and obviously, I'm going to be sensitive here. I'm not going to get baited to say something.
No. I mean, but it's
bad about. But look, here's the bottom line. We've had a great partnership with Nike for a really long period of time. They are a great company overall. We fuck things up all the time at Fanatics. Okay. Nike makes mistakes. Reebok makes mistakes. New Balance makes mistakes. Part of being a company is you don't always hit. Okay, the jersey didn't hit right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the bottom line. And you know what? Fans spoke, players spoke, and it got changed. And you know what? They didn't like the smaller name and number. They didn't like the small name on the back of it. They didn't like the pants not being tailored. There were problems with it, and it got rectified. And that's the good thing. The good thing is you got to listen to your fan. And, when a fan or a player's telling you we don't like something, you got to take that really into consideration. The thing I'm proudest about is that, for me, every day it went on was a day longer than I wanted to go on.
Sure.
Because I'm a hands-on entrepreneur. You guys can see this in my personality, right? Yeah. I got lit up. It was the Monday after Super Bowl. I got lit up about it. And I'm like, okay, what's the solve? How do we solve this right away? But it's still within 75 days, the decision was made to revert back to the bigger name, letters, to revert back to the tailored pants, and to really solve the problem. So, I'd say in corporate land, I think Nike did a good job reacting to it. And, look, anytime we're a part of anything, whether we had nothing to do with the design and development, but even if we're making something that a fan doesn't like, I still take partial responsibility, and we have to take responsibility because we're the company selling that merchandise. And so we got to make sure fans love what we do.
We got to talk about the fest. We touched on it very briefly, but these stunts that you said, the break the internet stunts, because we think of a convention, we think of obviously commerce, but all these people, content coming together, a lot of the GOATs. What are you most excited about, and what do you think is going to be the takeaway of people, the first ever?
Yeah, so first, what's crazy is I've been to Complex Con. I've been to Comic-Con. I've been to a lot of cons. There's nothing like this in sports. So when you think about Comic-Con, which is such an amazing gathering of incredible fans. By the way, Javits in New York City, 250,000 fans come out for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Okay? When you think about Complex Con, which I went to where it was, Long Beach or...
We'll see you this year?
You're going to see me in Vegas, 100%. Yes. I will be there on... Now remember, I told you guys before we started, I have a 36-hour maximum on being in Vegas.
Yes.
That's 2 nights, 1 day. You'll see me during the day.
Okay.
I'll have to take the first night a little bit easy because my body can only accept so much of Las Vegas. But when you think about building something like this, how has it never existed in sports? It's kind of mind-boggling because sports fans are the best in the world. There's billions of sports fans.
Yeah.
And how do we not have a sports festival? So the original imagination came from really looking at Complex Con, looking at Comic-Con, looking at all these different music festivals and saying, how do we do something like this in sports and that it doesn't exist? So it's happening. I think your pod comes out this Friday. So it's happening this weekend.
Yes.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, August 16th through the 18th at Javits in New York City. And it's going to be spectacular. And I have many tens of thousands of incredibly passionate sports fans. But I'll just give you ideas. You've got, Tom Brady coming. You've got Jeter coming. You've got Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards coming right with the gold medals from the Olympics. You've got AI coming because we've been talking about Allen Iverson. You've got Mike Tyson and Jake Paul doing a press conference there. You've got Drewski coming, Aiden Ross coming. You've got the biggest streamers in the world coming. So we're going to have 200 of the biggest athletes, celebrity. By the way, Jay-Z hosting 40/40 there.
I saw that. You're recreating the 40/40 Club inside the Javits Center?
That's right. Yeah, Jay's idea, of course. And what you have to respect so much about guys like Jay and Trav is the attention to details. Jay will hit me on something, no detail is too small. These guys are thinking of everything. So Jay's 4040 is, I think, one of his favorite brands. And he's like, I want to do a 4040 pop-up at Fanatics Fest. And that's going to be for the 200 athletes, artists, celebrities that come through to support us, but also for our most important collectors, most important gamblers. I don't know if you guys know, Jay and his partner Des are owners of our Fanatics Sportsbook. So they're significant owners of the Fanatics Sportsbook. So they helped us start that business together. And they're very, both very, very involved in it. So for Fanatics Fest, you've got, think about it's complex here. Yes. Think about having Jay-Z, Travis Scott, some other artists, which we're about to announce later today. Oh. By the way, Quavo coming, but you're going to see some other big announcements, some things we're adding to the agenda. Think about the best, basketball players, best football players in the world. Brady's going to be throwing passes on Friday to kids for an hour. You've got Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant playing basketball and football each with kids on Saturday. AI playing basketball with kids on Sunday. I even heard, again, Trusky's getting the octagon against one of the best UFC fighters. I look forward to seeing that.
What UFC fighter?
Yeah,
I don't know, but I to be honest, I think I could take Trusky in the octagon. I mean, that's
Are there odds on that one? Can we bet on that?
Well, if there's someone I want to compete most against in sports, it's definitely going to be Trusky. He's definitely more coordinated than me, but I've got speed on him for sure.
There you go.
He's definitely not outrunning me. So this Fanatics Fest, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be the best gathering of athletes, celebrities, artists in the world coming together, tens of thousands of sports fans. But you'll be able to have each league will be there activating like they do at their marquee league events. So whether it's WWE and you're a Giant fan, you want to come out to the, your favorite, WWE superstar, you want to come out as him with all the music and the outfits. You can do that. You can, get in the UFC octagon. You can run the 40-yard dash or look at the, all the Super Bowl rings, the Lombardi trophies.
Do you know how you're going to spend your weekend? Because when I'm going to a convention, I'm like, I need a schedule of I need to go to all this.
Spend my weekend. I'm going to be the first to get there before everybody. I'm going to be the last to leave. I'm going to stress about every single detail.
But do you get to enjoy any of these things?
No, hell no. There's nothing fun. Let me tell you here's my test.
Yeah.
When Sunday night happens, I get on the plane to take my daughter to USC.
It's all over.
And it's over. Do I have tens of thousands of people saying Fanatics Fest was fucking awesome? It was great. That's number one. Number two, to the couple hundred athletes that come out to do this, they say, you know what? This wasn't my normal appearance. I had a blast. I had fun coming. I hung out at 4040 all weekend. It was a blast. Like, it was so much fun. And by the way, the content is complex. Did I give you guys more things to kind of put on social than you've ever seen? And we got so many stunts up our sleeve.
What's the content team like for this weekend? How many people?
Probably 100.
Wow.
Yeah. And I got to tell you something, we're going to keep you guys, I bet you guys cover 20 different things we do.
Okay.
And there's going to be, we got so many things going to be nuts that are coming.
I'm going to be in the 4040 club.
Let's go.
Is he getting in? Is he getting in?
What's questionable? We got to interview him a little bit more.
What sneakers are you wearing in the 4040 club? That's the real question.
Rockefeller Air Force Ones.
Oh, okay. That's good.
And they're all white.
Does he have a better shot of getting to the white party or this 4040 thing at Fanatics Fest? Or zero for both?
Odds are low. Okay. I'd say white
Can
party.
We bet on it?
White party's zero.
Okay.
You don't have like a yearly charity invite to the white party.
We need more than a charity invite. But no, we actually have had someone offered us for the white party this year. We had a crypto guy from Europe offer us $5 million to get in.
Whoa.
And then two people offer $1 million each. And you can't buy your way into that party. It's just not what the party's about. The party, but
would you at least have the conversation with that person and see if there's somebody who you would enjoy or
there's
vibe
no
with?
threshold if someone was like
not to pay, but just
what you got to understand. The white party's not about status. The white party's about.
Oh, then I can come.
I mean, you're still very questionable. Listen, we had 25 people, individual people, or 26 people try to crawl in through like hedges that they got. I mean, security's crazy.
I'm going Shawshank Redemption with it.
But people tried that this year. It didn't work. It didn't work. We had one guy who actually snuck in the first year, but they threw out very quickly. Who they knew who you're not
knew the leak.
You're not beating security. But here's the thing about the white party. It's important to understand. It's really about how do we bring all these people from different backgrounds together, and great things come from that. And like, if you talk about a guy who, I told you, the way I learn is from asking questions, from studying people around me. If I can get people of all these different backgrounds to come together, and you have these extraordinary people from great CEOs. You have the CEO of Uber, this founder of Twitter, to the CEO of Airbnb, to CEO of all the big media companies, the owner of F1. You take all these people like that, and the owners of football teams. Then you're taking the best athletes in each of the respective sports, and the best artists in the respective sports. You put these people together. great things come from it. By the way, we've created marriages already that have come from this. We've created, a lot of relationships that have come for this. We've created more relationships than we've broke up.
Okay.
Which is good.
What's the ratio on that?
At least 2-to-1 for starting relationships versus breaking them. But the most important thing I love is the business, outcomes that come from this. And so I feel honored to be able to bring such great people together and have them all learn and from each other. And it's a 13-hour party. People get there at 5 o'clock. They still till a lot of people at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's 300 people that show. There's only less than 400 people in the party. So people make the distance and they have a great time. And people also feel free to have a good time. But it's generally it's something I'm honored to do.
What are we rocking to Fanatics Fest? You said Trav took the shoes off your feet. Basically, when you have like a big weekend like this, are you that much of a sneaker guy where you're like, I need to wear
So
these?
I have a guy who's been with me a couple of years who legitimately picks out my outfits for me because he's very fashionable and I'm very unfashionable.
Okay.
And he'll lay me out 2 or 3 options and I'll just pick it and put it on. So I won't even think about it. Probably the best perk I have in my life now, I was just saying this this weekend to somebody, is I don't ever think about packing or unpacking a closet anymore. I do nothing. I just put on what's laid out for me. That's the single thing I've become most used to that I really enjoy.
Another question about Fanatics Fest. I know you're friendly with a lot of these people, but I was looking at the lineup, I'm such a CM Punk guy. Of course, the huge names, Hove and
Tom
Brady and everyone,
yeah.
but CM Punk is my guy, badass. Is there one person that you're really looking forward to chopping it up that maybe you don't get to spend time with as much as you would like that's coming this weekend?
I'm excited to spend time with everybody.
Okay.
I am. I love to, I'll greet everyone. I'll go see everyone. I'll give everyone hugs, show them my appreciation for being there. I think I think the reason people come out and do this, Brady's spending most of Friday there. He's not coming for an hour. He's doing 10 different things when he's there. So I want to make sure people know how much I appreciate them coming out, how much it means to me, because you want to try to build this thing and scale it. And, look, again, the test for me is going to be to the tens of thousands of fans that come say, this was incredible. Do the athletes and artists that come through say, hey, this was really good for me and my brand? And is the social pickup really great? Right now, it's you start these things, there's a big investment from a marketing perspective and a big time suck. So you want to make sure it's going to be great for everybody.
Why New York as the first?
Because it's the greatest city in the world.
I agree.
Look, I don't think we could pull this off anywhere but New York City to start with. We have so many people. When I look at the lineup, I'm look, everyone knows my Fanatics Super Bowl party. It's an iconic party.
Yes.
The lineup here is many times better than who comes to a Fanatics Super Bowl party. So I don't think we could have done it anywhere but New York to start. Now, the dream is if it works in New York, do we do it in LA? Do we do it in Chicago? Do we do it in Paris? Do we do it in London? Do we do it in Tokyo? Do we do it in China? Do we do it in Brazil? Do we do it, in the biggest cities in the world? So that's what you have at Comic-Con today. I hope we could do the same thing with Fanatics Fest. But it's got to be this incredible gathering of sports fans. But to make it special, it's got to be something where fans this was incredible. I want people to come start to finish all day long. Now, one thing for anyone who's coming, because people hearing this, it's Friday. So It's now this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You should remember, you should come dressed in a full outfit of your favorite team, whether it's a basketball outfit, baseball outfit, or a super fan outfit. If you come as a crazy super fan, you come in a full sports outfit is your team.
He pulling up in the full Jordan fit, they play basketball.
That could get him to meet one of his favorite. So if you come,
you get it for free.
Jersey, shorts, everything. Mitchell and Ness down.
We're picking the best dressed fan every hour, and the best dressed fan every hour is going to get to meet one of their favorite sports heroes in a one-on-one. So if CM Punk is your guy,
wait,
you want me to come through?
Come with the
Come
CM Punk.
with the
who would you dress up
tights?
as if you were participating in that?
If I was dressing up, who would I dress up as? It's a great Julian Edelman, the little Jewish athletic guy.
Okay.
I could try to have some hope for myself.
Okay.
Try to give myself hope.
Wait, with the helmet?
Yeah, it's the
everything?
only person I could actually. It's the only person I could actually. He's like my size. It's I want a guy who's. I give myself a little bit of athletic hope. It's not going to work, but
that's amazing.
But
fan thing.
So if you came as CM Punk, maybe we're gonna grab you. Do you know CM Punk?
He was on my show.
Okay,
he was on my show.
Who would you most want to meet there? You don't know.
Who would I most want to meet? I don't know. I had never met Brady before.
Would you want to catch a pass from Brady?
Yes.
You think you would
great
catch it?
hands. Okay. I have great hands.
Okay. So, by the way, I don't know if you saw, I have bad hands, but actually you saw me on the jet ski catch the pass, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that was for me very good. I was proud of myself.
I also saw DeMar intercept Brady on the beach.
The problem was DeMar was fighting for his life. CJ and DeMar thought they were in the Super Bowl, and Tom was like having fun after a couple drinks.
Okay.
There's a little
big difference.
Yeah, a little difference. But like, look, if you come in a full Tom Brady uniform, you get those football pants.
I can't. I'm an Eli Manning guy. I can't.
Okay, so how about this? You come in your Eli Manning. If you come in a
The
full
little Riddell helmet, remember? Like the little
Riddell
thing?
helmet, guard, pads.
Remember when you were little?
Jersey, pants. You come as that, as full Eli Manning. By the way, maybe we'll grab you to go meet Brady.
I'm pulling up.
And catch pass.
I'm pulling up.
So that's like, but that's those are the stunts we want to do. Look, I bet you're going to see a lot of people in full football outfits with the pads, everything, shoulder pads, everything.
You got to put together a game, like a scrimmage of all the people who are in their pads.
And we might. There are going to be some crazy stunts there. So, I want this to be where, like, what would bother me is if athletes came and they, like, did their obligations and left.
Yeah.
I want people to come, want to do stuff. There's so many different things you can do. Like, it was interesting over the weekend when I was in the Olympics. I got a phone call like, KD saw Tommy's playing football. He's great at football. Ant's like, I'm a better football player than basketball player. Let's play football with the kids. Okay,
That's awesome.
Now KD and Ant are playing football with the kids. Like, I love that. That just shows, and it shows how much people care about the fans too. The person who wants to get there and get out, not my type of person. Person who wants to get there and hang with the fans, my type of person.
And the last thing I would say, basically, why this is cool, it's fans, young fans. A lot of these conventions, sometimes a little too cool maybe, but this is like fans rabid.
This is for real sports fans. And by the way, collecting is going to be like a quarter of the show. It won't be like the national where it's 100% trading cards, but it'd be like a quarter of the show for and we're going to have, I think, this will be the biggest, kind of trading card show ever in the state of New York. This will be, we'll have the most valuable collection of cards. There's going to be more than $100 million of cards on display. We're going to have some incredible memorabilia on display. So there's going to be so many
full
cool
circle
things to
moment,
see.
like I said, back into cards.
I agree. I'm going to be
Camp
back.
Comment to the Javits Center.
I'll probably run around buying cards. I love this stuff. I'll be there. I will not run out of energy.
Yeah.
I will be, all over everything and making sure we just keep creating great moments for fans. That's what it's all about.
We look forward to it.
I mean, I won't be without these billions of incredible sports fans. Yeah. I'd be, selling sneakers, buying and selling sneaker closeouts.
Not the
Nothing
worst,
wrong with that.
No,
not the worst.
I agree. I'd be your guys' assistant. I'd be a good assistant for you.
Love that. Listen, thank you so much for giving us your time on such a busy week. Hope to maybe we pull up to Fanatics Fest.
Yeah, we might.
You guys, all you guys got to come. We'll get you perfectly set up.
Awesome.
But here's what I want from you guys: come to Fanatics Fest dressed as your favorite, in either a super fan, or in a full uniform of your favorite team. And I'm gonna get you guys. We'll get some crazy shit for you guys.
Okay.
Where are you going?
You going as Morgan Wallen or what?
Oh man,
that's a tough pick.
I don't think I can do it.
Wait, so you would be Eli, head to toe. What would you be?
I would probably just be wearing I'm not a big sports guy, to be honest with you.
I'm glad you said sports passion. It's incredible. Man.
You're gonna dress up as your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh character?
Yeah.
No, I would wear some Oregon Ducks gear. That's what I would be on.
Football, basketball.
More football.
Okay, so if you come in the full Oregon, like pull it out. Don't talk shit. Come in a full Oregon football uniform, and then who's your favorite person you want to meet?
I mean, Marcus Mariota. I don't know.
I don't think
somebody who's attending.
Yeah, but there's like 200 people attending.
I'll be happy with 5 minutes with Jay-Z.
I'll tell you what. You come in that uniform. We'll get you come in that uniform. We might get you back in the 40-44.
There we go.
That could be your access.
Okay.
You come
Fair trade.
You come full Oregon uniform.
Yeah.
We might get you a little access to 40-40. White party, you're fucked.
See ya.
We might be able to get you in 40-40.
I'll take it.
But I'm talking about
commit to the bit. Yeah.
Cleats,
Yes.
pants, pads, shoulder pads, jersey, helmet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that.
And you do that,
eyeshadow,
you find me, it's done. You get a commitment right now.
Let's go.
Look at
It's a deal.
on
What
camera.
you got nothing? You don't care?
Oh man.
Some UFC fighter, some combat sports veteran.
Go full Andre Agassi.
Yeah, there you go.
First of all, I got to tell you, UFC's got a great. They don't bring the octagon anywhere. They're bringing the octagon. Okay,
Yeah.
so if you come in a full UFC, how about we get you a little sparring with one of the UFC champs?
Ooh, I would love that.
You want me to knock him the fuck out really quickly?
Me, no.
No, yeah.
The other guy.
Cheeto, yeah.
Cheeto.
Yeah, we got great UFC stars coming
Awesome. Fanatics Fest, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
this weekend.
This
Javits
weekend.
Center.
This drops at 6 a.m. Get over there. Javits Center, 10 a.m. on video.
10 a.m. on video.
This drops the morning of.
Here's the thing: it dropped. Get in your car.
Yeah.
Come out, Fanatics Fest, and tell me how we did at the end of the weekend.
I got to go get the Eli fit.
Eli fit, Ducks fit. Are you doing UFC fighter?
Andre Agassi.
Yes.
Andre
Mullet.
Agassi. I want to see the full fit. You guys coming? I got you guys covered.
Thank you so much
Appreciate
for giving
it.
us your time. This is really fun.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneakers Show. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe, comment. We will see you
2 weeks?
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, we'll be back.
What do you mean? You're going to see me at Fanatics Fest this weekend.
Oh, right.
Fanatics Fest.
You guys,
Pull up.
you're already talking 2 weeks ahead. You're talking about today, tomorrow, and Sunday.
You heard
Javits
it.
Center. Let's go, baby.
You heard it.